and Cheese on Demon FM, and for some reason my mic is really low. Can you hear anything?
Let me just put my headphones on. No.
No, you can't. I don't know what's happened here.
Do you want to try turning the mics up?
Has that improved it at all?
Could you put the general global thing up?
Yeah,
so I can actually, because I can't really hear much. Yeah.
How's that?
That's better. That's a lot better.
Cool. So yeah, this is Mead and Cheese. Sorry about the technical issue there, but we are here on Mead Eve.
Mead Eve, which is a very special event. An event, well, actually, we invented. We're the founders of this event, aren't we?
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's International Mead Day tomorrow. And so the day before that is obviously going to be Mead Eve.
And you are celebrating Mead Eve on Demon FM.
Indeed. So what meads have we got with us today?
So we've seemed to have a few from last week. The Berry Heligan mead, which we've only got a little bit left. And we've got, what was the other one called? The Hogmagger?
Yeah, so as you said, we've got the Heligan Blackberry Mead, which is from the Cornwall Mead Company, Cornish Mead. And then we've got the Niddhoggr Mead Co., traditional mead, and that's based in York.
Ooh.
And we've also got the classic back.
Am I right in thinking, yeah, you've got the classic?
We have got the classic. We've got Lyme Bay Winery's traditional honey mead.
And what's special about Lyme Bay Winery?
What's special about Lyme Bay Winery is they are the biggest mead distributor in the UK. Their mead is the most readily available on shops such as Amazon, and the 23 Wine and Whiskey in Leicester as well. They also stock Lyme Bay's mead.
Oh, so what have you done so far today then, Corey, to celebrate Mead Day?
Well, today I have had a little bit of Lyme Bay mead.
Yep.
I got on a train to Leicester to come on Mead and Cheese.
So you was literally celebrating trains as well?
Oh, of course, yeah. This is a train-loving show.
I'm assuming that's why you went on the train as well, because you love trains. It wasn't to do with just a practical thing. It was also a thing of love. Am I correct in saying that, or would that be? Yeah.
I mean, it might have been because it was the quickest way to get to Leicester, but it helps that I do love a good train.
Okay, so Corey does love a good train. So you went on the train today?
Yes.
On Mead Eve?
Yes.
So, and then you brought your mead to drink?
Yes.
And I'm assuming you're going to have some cheese later?
Probably, yeah.
That is probably the best way to celebrate Mead Eve. You go on a train with your bottle and you drink it. You drink a bit on the way, obviously, and then you actually bring it on and drink it, and then you have your cheese. And I think, like, I know most people. Corey is perhaps one of these. He would have got a private jet if he wanted to. He could have got a private jet here, but he didn't. He got the train to celebrate this day.
Yep, that's right. I got on East Midlands Railway.
And how did you find the journey? Good journey?
The finest trains in the world.
Yes, I imagine, because what's the best way to travel? I always say it is trains.
Well, trams are up there. Trams are pretty good.
I like trams, but I view trams as a form of train.
Right.
So I wouldn't view them differently than that.
What about tram buses?
Tram buses?
Yeah. You know, buses that are powered by the electronic lines going over them.
They're interesting. You don't normally see them very often in the UK, do you?
You don't see them much nowadays, no.
But I have seen them when I went to Greece. We went on them when we went to Greece, and I really did enjoy them. I thought that was a very interesting way of travel. I thought, hey, maybe the best way of travel.
I don't know about best way of travel.
No, because you're right. I'm excited. I like the bus tram. I think it's a more interesting way to do bus, but the best way of travel is
a donkey.
No, I could have said train, but donkey is interesting. The thing is, donkeys aren't reliable. Trains are.
What about the Reliant Supervan?
The Reliant Supervan.
Yeah.
I've not actually heard of that one.
Oh, it's a great little vehicle.
Yeah.
What it is, it's like a car, or a minivan, but it's only got 3 wheels.
Okay.
It was made quite popular by the show Only Fools and Horses.
Okay.
Because that was the car that they drove around in.
And do you drive that for fun, or for pleasure, or for practical purposes?
It's definitely not practical.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure-mobile then.
As I say, with the 3 wheels, it's liable of tipping over if you take a corner too harsh.
But if you're enjoying your journey, which I assume you are, then I would say you wouldn't need to go around corners very fast because you're taking your time on the road.
Exactly. That's a message to everyone. Take your time on the roads.
So I think we've got quite a lot to talk about, mainly about mead.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm also going to talk about poor filmmakers.
Poor filmmakers?
Yeah.
What, filmmakers who are bad at making films, or filmmakers who don't have a lot of money?
Filmmakers who are bad at making money.
What? Bad at making money?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've decided, in my mind, that if you want your film to make money, manifest it.
I don't think that's how it works.
We're going to talk about hustling and grinding later on.
Again, I don't know. I don't know if that's... I don't know if we're a hustle and grinding show.
I'm not saying we're a hustle and grinding show. I'm going to talk about hustle culture.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. So we're going to go to the year 3000 now by Busted, and when we return we will be talking all things mead and hustle culture. We are back on Mead and Cheese for Mead Eve.
And welcome. Hello.
So, Tom, you wanted to talk about hustle culture.
I do want to talk about hustle culture. That is, you're absolutely correct in thinking that. So I was just talking the other day. Now you're a massive creator, aren't you, Corey?
A creator, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this. I was talking about this on Actionable Threat yesterday. Was about people's opportunities into the industries they want to go into, like the media industries. And they all start at different levels, because people have different levels of wealth. And that's true. And that's fine. That's people are allowed to have, people are always going to come from different backgrounds. But we're talking about a very specific genre of persons. People who are very well off.
Yeah.
Who then go on things like Instagram. So, for example, I know a videographer, not going to name names, who will go on Instagram, and we know for a fact they come from a very wealthy background.
Right.
But every single image is an Instagram picture. Was then with a gimbal or a fancy camera, big bits of kit, like what most people can't afford. Mm-hmm. Just saying, oh yeah, hustle, grind. And there's literally shop pictures of this person at different shops, like going to Gucci.
Yeah.
And saying, oh yeah, I'm on the, hustle, this is the reward of hustling. And I just think
it's more a privilege thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think people do that, don't they? They play it off. They play it off as that.
That's the thing. If I was hustling, trying to make money, I wouldn't shop at Gucci.
You wouldn't, no, you wouldn't. And this is the thing. I was talking to Tom. It even matters. Time is is the greatest asset. And there's that woman, I can't remember what her name was. She always says that we all have the same 24-hour clock.
Yeah, I know what you're on about, the Love Island woman.
Yeah, so she was that's that sort of philosophy that we all have to say that, and it is true. We all still have the 24 hours. But say if you're someone who's come from a wealthy background, you want to start a small business, and you have family who could give you £5,000. You've got that sort of safety net. So if you do go wrong, okay, doesn't matter. But if you're someone who has very little money, you literally have to work, and it's such a bigger risk starting a business venture, and it's also a bigger investment because you might have to literally divert funds from another job to buy that sort of equipment, and it might be harder but then you then see a lot of people who seemingly be of this sort of they come from this wealthy background, who sort of say, I've hustled, I've grinded to get all this this sort of like 24-hour clock sort of person.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the myth of the self-made billionaire.
Yes.
Like, you'll have people like Bill Gates say, I'm self-made, but they actually come from a pretty well-off background themselves. Yeah,
because it's not even that. It's like, the self-made billionaire, it's like, I think it was something like, one of them, someone always talks to me is Gary V. He's quite popular. But it's like, he's very well off, but it's like his thing is like he had £1 million. His family were very well off, like they had like a very successful wife. And I'm not saying that he didn't earn his own money and make his own way, but I am saying that the platform you go off when you've got a more wealthy family, you do have a security net, unless your family are totally like cut you off and financially.
Well, one of the classic examples for a very wealthy, self-made, in air quotes, person is Donald Trump. I don't know if you remembered the meme going around a few years ago where he said in an interview, it's not been easy for me. When I started off, my dad just gave me a small loan of $1 million.
That's the thing, a small loan of $1 million. And you know what? When he started off with this small loan of $1 million, that was the 80s, 70s.
I mean, it would have been worth a lot more then than it is now.
I'm saying that. I would say, wow, that's a lot of money in today's standards. In yesterday gone standards, that was a hell of a lot of money. A lot of money.
So I think we're in a pretty good position to update our Mead leaderboards this week.
Yeah.
Because we tried some new meads last week. We tried the Heligan Mead.
Yeah.
We tried the Niddhoggr Mead, and we tried the Moon Honey Mead.
Okay.
And I think they're all fairly strong meads. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I do agree.
So I have a list up right now. It is my mead ranking. I've not included flavoured meads. This is all just the original meads.
So are we doing our rankings separate for flavoured?
Possibly. I'm just kind of ranking the companies and the overall taste factor.
Okay, that's fine. I can get on board with that.
So I've ranked 7 meaderies on this list. No surprise, in last place is Harvest Gold.
You really don't like Harvest Gold, do you?
I really don't, no.
Now, can I ask you, before we go any further, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, go on.
Do you prefer rosé to Harvest Gold?
Yes.
Okay, and do you like rosé? Like how much do you like rosé?
Yeah, I quite enjoy rosé, yeah.
So what's an alcohol you aren't fond of?
I'm not a big whiskey drinker.
Okay, let's say a nice whiskey. Let's say Jack Daniel's Honey. Have you tried that?
I have.
So let's say, do you prefer Jack Daniel's Honey which is not your genre of drink, to Harvest Gold?
That's an interesting question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I don't really like whiskey. At the same time, I had a sit-down drink of whiskey with my friend Alistair. What was it we drunk? I think it was Jameson's. And that was alright, you know. I could actually... I drank that fine.
Jameson's. Yeah. Jameson's.
Jameson's, yeah.
Yeah, that is a nice whiskey. I think that is one of Maddie's dad's, Andrew's favourite drinks.
So again, not a big whiskey drinker, but I did quite enjoy it. But yeah, I'd probably go for the Harvest Gold over the honey whiskey.
Okay, so that's interesting. So it still has some value then.
Or maybe I'd go for the whiskey because it'd get me drunk quicker, and then I'd drink the Harvest Gold.
I think Harvest Gold, my personal opinion is, it is, yes, not the nicest mead, but it is also a very cheap mead, so I have to put that into account.
It is a very good value mead. I will agree with you there. I have taken the liberty, actually, of adding another mead to our ranking list.
Okay.
Which puts Harvest Gold in 8th place.
Okay.
So,
do tell me more.
Okay, so in 7th place, we have the Kinsale Mead Company.
King's Ale, is that one there?
It's not that one.
Have I tried King's Ale?
You have tried Kinsale. It was something we brought on the show a while ago. It was more of a dry mead. It was sort of similar to gin.
Oh, was that the one I said was like them rose violet sweet? Purple violet sweets?
No, not that one. If you remember, it was the Atlantic Dry Mead that we brought on. We tried it on its own and we said it was like very alcoholic and it was quite weird.
Okay. And
then we mixed it with stuff like lemonade and tonic, and we said, "Oh, this is actually really nice."
I think
mixed.
Was it a see-through one? Was it?
Let me get a picture up.
Because I think I'm pretty sure there's one what I thought would taste like Parma violets once it was mixed.
I don't know if it would be that one. This is the one.
Yeah, no, that was the one I would have said was like Parma violets.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's I quite like that one.
Yeah, I like it. And again, after the Harvest Gold, I think every mead on this list is good.
Yeah. My problem with that one, I didn't really think it was much of a mead. Like, it didn't feel like a mead.
It didn't feel like a mead, no. And neither does our next mead on the list in 6th place, the Niddhoggr mead.
Yeah.
Which, you know, when I first tried it, I didn't know what to think of it because it has a really strong alcohol taste.
Yeah.
But I found it's one of those drinks where the more you drink it, the more you actually like it.
Yeah, I found that. I think that's one what will get you very drunk. The thing is, I found about the Niddhoggr mead was the fact that it didn't feel easy to drink.
No.
It felt, most meads you try straight away and they feel, okay, this is a nice, easy drink. It didn't have that initial impression with me.
Yes, I would agree. But, you know, it is a nice drink, and I would be curious to try some of the other flavours, or even try it mixed with lemonade or tonic or other mixes.
Yes.
But, next up on the list at number 5 is a mead that we tried quite a while ago again, and it is a very, very good mead. This is a premium mead. The reason it's ranked so low, however, is the cost per unit.
Okay.
And that's the Chalice mead.
I think I remember having that. That was quite a small one, wasn't it?
It was. It came in a small bottle. It was double the price at the time of the Lyme Bay mead. And, you know, it tasted really nice. It was a very nice mead. A very premium mead.
I mean, I did like the bottle as well. I have to say, I like that sort of design of bottle.
And it was very well presented, yeah.
Yeah. But I think, like, there's a limit to how much I'm willing to pay for presentability. There's a very... I mean, like, I am willing to pay for the premium. The thing was, it was more expensive, but also smaller. And, yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, Chalice Mead, again, it tastes great, but it didn't taste that much better than, say, a Lyme Bay Mead.
Yeah.
That it was worth the extra cost. So, in number 4... we are stepping away again from the more traditional meads, and we're looking at a company that has a fresh new take on mead, which is Moon Honey Mead.
Oh, okay. So this is Moon Honey was from Devon.
Yes.
And we reviewed that one only last week.
We did, yes. And Moon Honey Mead, again, all the meads on this list, past Harvest Gold, are ones that I actually do quite enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Moon Honey Mead, again, it was similar to the Niddhoggr, actually. When I first tasted it, I didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
It tasted quite similar to an ale, I thought.
Yeah, I think because we had very two specific types of Moon Honey. We had the honey and the ginger, and I like ginger, and I think you're someone who doesn't quite like ginger.
I like the Lyme Bay Tournament Mead though. That's got a ginger flavour. Do you like ginger in general, or is it? I quite like ginger. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the Moon Honey Ginger too much, but everyone else in the studio seemed to like it. And the Moon Honey Original is one of those, as you said last week, it feels more like something you take to a picnic. Yeah,
I would say I like hand on my heart think that Moon Honey Mead is the best mead for a picnic. I think it's the number one mead for a picnic. Mm-hmm. And that's not saying it. That's not saying the best mead. I'm saying in that circumstance, it is the best mead to have.
And you know, I've given mead to a lot of people, and some people think that it's, you know, too sweet or too sickly. I think the Moon Honey Mead would have that wider appeal. It would appeal to more people.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I see what you mean.
But at number 3, this might surprise you.
Yep.
In third place, we have Lyme Bay.
Lyme Bay at third place now.
Lyme Bay are in third place.
Okay.
The classic. They were our number one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they are a great value mead. You can buy them from many places. That is their strongest attribute, I think, is that they're the most readily available mead.
Yeah.
And, you know, they taste great. They don't cost a lot. They are a strong recommendation. If you are trying to get into mead, buy yourself a bottle of Lyme Bay's traditional mead. However, after last week, just beating them out in second place is Heligan Mead from the Cornish Mead Co.
Yeah, and I think the Cornish Mead Co. Definitely deserve a second place because although we've not tried as many of their meads, there's a lot of them.
There is, and I want to say right now that I thought that their flavoured meads were stronger than Lyme Bay's.
Yes, no, there's what's there, but that is a very specific one for Heligan Gardens. That's made for it, so I'll be interested to try what their Cornish on-brand stuff is, because that one was like for a specific place, which is really interesting. That, you know, they've got to a position where they're not just making their own mead; they're making mead for other locations around Cornwall.
Well, Lyme Bay do the same thing, actually.
Do they?
They do. Lyme Bay make the Moniac mead, which is for it's for like a castle in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
So Lyme Bay also create mead for other places, and Lyme Bay being in Devon, they're quite close to each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cornish Mead Co and Lyme Bay.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, so it's a good rivalry. And I could go back and forth on this, you know. Lyme Bay are a strong mead company, and I could easily see myself switching them back around.
Yeah, I think they are very strong. I think it's going to be a competition between them, and I think I know who you're going to have first.
Of course, Ashfield's own Fjord Mead.
It was a lovely mead.
It really was, and I've never had a mead like it since.
I know, we need to get Connor Dahlia back on to make his mead.
We do. We really do. And, of course, that was my own personal mead ranking. Tom's might be very different.
Yeah, I think I agree with your ranking. I think if I was to swap some things around, I would possibly put Moon Honey higher, because I really, if it's based on the company and what they're doing, I really like what Moon Honey do. I think that's very creative, because a lot of the mead companies on that list do a similar thing. I think Mood Honey is definitely doing something totally different, which I've not really seen anyone else done, and I think that's the one I would have moved. But I think in terms of the rankings, I think I totally agree. I may put Moon Honey to third rather than fourth.
So which mead do you move down, though? Are you moving down Lyme Bay? Are you moving down Cornish or Fjord?
Lyme Bay, I think.
Lyme Bay.
Yeah, I also am aware that
I do wonder if this is a new bias. What's it called? The freshness bias. Like, because Cornish Mead Co. and Moon Honey are both meads we've had recently, and Lyme Bay is a mead we've been having for a very long time.
Yeah, Lyme Bay
Maybe
was
that recency is
Lyme Bay
into it.
Yeah, Lyme Bay had number one ship for a good few months. Really, it was ages. It's been number one longer than any of the mead. It was only when and if you remember when Connor Dahlia gave us his mead, and he was in the studio, and we had the whole grand committee do a vote in it, and I actually remember us both signing the paperwork to say he had the number one mead in the nation, and we overturned Lyme Bay being the number one mead. And now on this new ranking, Lyme Bay's now been overturned, which we'll have to do the paperwork for, and now it is oh no, we've not overturned. Sorry, I'm thinking Cornish Co is the number one. No, so Forge Mead is still number one.
Yeah.
But
Lyme Bay has been overtaken for second place.
Yeah, so do we need to sign that? I only think you need to coronate the winner.
I just think as well, like the Cornish Mead, especially the Heligan Mead, the traditional, it was really nice, and it was a lot stronger than Lyme Bay's, but you couldn't tell it was a lot stronger. Yeah,
I think like it's one of them where what I actually hope for. Now, I don't like the idea of one mead staying on top for months and months and months and then. I want them all to be competitive. I want them to take true, advantage of the free market, and I want to see different meads take over, and I want to, every month us to actually, have like a bookies for what mead will take over in the rankings, because it's such a volatile market.
It is, yeah. It'd be nice for Lyme Bay probably shouldn't change what they're doing. They're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Maybe the only thing I could say is push it out to supermarkets.
Push it out for supermarkets. Maybe improve on some of the flavoured meads, I would also say.
Yeah, the flavoured meads, particularly the black cherry one, tasted quite artificial. But, some of their flavoured meads are pretty good. The tournament mead with the ginger is nice. Mm-hmm. The garden mead is very nice. The minty one. That one doesn't taste artificial. It tastes more like the mint plant, which is nice.
Yeah, it is. I really like the garden mead, and I like to think of this always as I say, I've got a wine rack. Which meads would I realistically want to put on that? And I think the meads I would have is always a bottle of Lyme Bay, a bottle. Now the thing with a wine rack, I can't really imagine putting one of the picnic meads in that wine rack, because it didn't go aesthetically in my wine rack. But yeah, I'll have a bottle of the Lyme Bay, a bottle of that Heligan mead, 2 bottles of Connor Dahlia's mead, and let's say I think I would have the chili mead as a specialty, and I'm trying to think what other mead I would have as my 6th mead. It could possibly just be another one of the Heligan meads.
Yeah. And of course, we're not an authority on mead. If you disagree with our ranking, let us know on our social medias, on our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook, at Mead and Cheese, or at Demon FM.
Join the nation's debate. We're definitely not. Our favourite mead doesn't have to be your favourite mead, but we do coronate our favourite mead as the nation's Mead and Cheese, the nation's favourite mead.
Of course, and we do strongly recommend Lyme Bay. We strongly recommend the Cornish Mead Co. And if you can get your hands on it, we definitely recommend Fjord Mead.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't knock any on this list. I would say try them all. And I know you wouldn't maybe recommend. I recommend trying a bit of Harvest Gold Mead to see what that sort of mead is like, because
Well, there's got to be someone out there who really likes it.
Yeah, there's got to be. And I think that's going to draw into a story what we've got to tell the audience later about Harvest Gold.
There's a story about Harvest Gold?
Yeah, there's and more of an update.
Okay, do you want to tell it now, or do you want to go to a song break?
I think we'll have a little break, and then we'll go into the story.
Okay, so we are going to be listening to some Elvis next. We all love a bit of Elvis, isn't that right? DJ Cheese.
Yeah, we love Elvis.
So we have Suspicious Minds, and then after that we will be talking about Harvest Gold Mead. Mead and Cheese is a weekly radio show on Demon FM, hosted by Lord Corey Kane West and Lord Thomas Alec Jackson, every Friday. Our mission statement: to raise awareness for the great drink of mead across the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, but also to try some many great cheeses along the way. Wouldn't you agree, Lord Jackson?
Yep, I do. Now, unfortunately on the stream, I forgot to put the mic back on because we was on an ad break.
Oh, no.
So, would you mind just briefly going through that again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mead and Cheese is a weekly radio show every Friday night on Demon FM, hosted by Lord Corey Kane West and Lord Thomas Alec Jackson. Our mission statement is to raise awareness for the great drink of mead across the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, but also to try some great cheeses along the way.
Woo! That's good. I liked it. I think and I want to thank just everyone personally supporting our mission. We've now got some new Patreons on our Patreon page, Mead and Cheese.
Nice.
I want to firstly thank our long-term supporter, the Greek god Evan.
Yes.
And I would also like to thank our newest Patreon, Bridget, who is now Mead royalty. So her Meadship and his Meadship are supporting us on the mission, and there's some reasons why we're doing this Patreon. It's not just so we can. I mean, we will joke we will buy mead with the money. No, it is so. We want to expand the show. As I say, we want to take on. We really want to take this mission onto the front lines and raise awareness of mead. We want to eventually make our own mead and distribute it. We want to build our own media superpower and, keep making creative projects, because me and Corey don't just do this show, we do many other things.
Yeah. But
they're all in the universe of this show. But yeah, I think one thing I want to stress home is the particular show as well. We have till 2023, September, so about a year and a month to have this location, this beautiful studio, which I absolutely love. And then Corey, who's just got onto his masters, which I'm I'm so excited for him doing this course. He's doing the same course I am doing, film production. We will then, after that though, after 2023 September, we won't have this studio anymore, and hopefully we really want to continue this show way into the 30s and beyond that, really. But that means we'll need our own location, and ideally we want to have like a studio set up like this, with mics, high quality camera so we can record everything, but like a location where me and Corey can meet every week and host shows, but also let our friends like Maddie and all these wonderful shows you've seen on Demon FM this year, we want to make sure they're on there as well.
Of course. As you said, Mead and Cheese as a Demon FM show will likely end in September 2023, and that's purely because that will be when our time at the university comes to an end.
I mean, I do hope someone takes it on after, like as a Demon FM thing, like maybe not Mead and Cheese, but someone does a show about Mead and Cheese.
Possibly, but even after Mead and Cheese is no longer on Demon FM, which has been a great home for Mead and Cheese, I still want to keep the show going on the podcast every week, on the Spotify, the Amazon, Apple, and every other platform. We're on Google.
Yeah, we're on all these places, and I think it's important that we come every week as well, like every Friday, same time, keep this schedule, because it's a nice schedule, it's like prime time, and we want our audience growers, but our goal is we want to be able to deliver that, and I'm sure a podcast studio will have many benefits. Like Corey has a brilliant brand called the Niddhoggr. He also has his own YouTube channel. I have my own productions and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a great creative hub, like a headquarters for all these creative projects, which will hopefully eventually build into this media superpower we're trying to build. But it takes money, and by supporting us on the Patreon, or even just liking the videos, subscribing, liking the Facebook page, you are helping us get towards that goal.
Yes, of course. It would be funding a future Mead and Cheese studios.
Yeah, you are literally funding a media empire.
Yes, and as we say, we want to keep the show going even after we are no longer on Demon. We want to keep the show going into the 30s, into the 40s, into as long as we can, really. And after that, who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe it'll be its own TV show. Who knows? But I think it is. I think that first goal, that sort of like it's in the foreseeable future, but a long way away, is getting that studio and getting that first, like having bricks beneath our feet to build off. Yes, of course. So please do support us on our Patreon. Fund our future.
This is Leicester's Student Sound.
Demon FM.
This is Leicester Student Sound. Yes, do join our Patreon, support our efforts to raise awareness for mead, keep the show going, help us to buy some new meads to try, help us to fund the Mead and Cheese studio, and we can keep the show going at as high a quality as possible for as long as possible.
And just one little quick plug, if you're joining this month, you will get a credit in our associated film Obsession, which is what I'm doing for my final year project. But Mead and Cheese it's going to say in the credits, fueled by Mead and Cheese, the Mead and Cheese Studios. So you'll be getting a thank you credit on that if you're in the Patreon, and also you will get some free wax melt if you are a Patreon supporter in Leicester.
Yes, of course. The film credit is for a film which is being done by Dream Visual Productions.
Dream Visual Media, yeah. Yeah, that's my little other brand, which is what basically is making videos for brands. But yeah, we are taking on we're making a short film called Obsession, which is a romantic fare. And Corey did point out to me today, it is not about mead, but it is backed by Mead and Cheese, and they'll get a studio credit.
No, it's not Mead and Cheese the movie, but that may be something we think about in many years to come.
That is something exciting. I'm not sure how that film would work yet, but I'm sure it will.
Well, we'd get, Ryan Reynolds to play Casserole as, I think it was Ed's pitch for the Transformers special.
Yeah, I think what we'd have to do, we'll get everyone to come back on and do like on our. I need to put the text up before we start talking about this. To be honest, it just says Pitch Invasion is an original Mead and Cheese product. That's on the live stream, just so everyone's aware. I'm maybe putting this up just as a precaution, because obviously if you come up with like an idea, someone might steal it. Yeah,
if you've listened to the DMC, for example, Kieran Shee might have stole that idea, but I'm not too fussed about it. We're not going to come after him for copyright infringement. We are honoured that people want to use our great segments on their own shows.
Yeah, and exactly. Like I think one thing I always think is if Kieran had come up with like a show like Pitch Invasion, I would want him to want us to steal it as well, because in our Demon FM, building off each other's ideas is a great thing, like the DMC did.
Yes, of course.
But so maybe we'll bring back that Pitch Invasion to someone to write the plot for our movie.
Yeah, maybe. I think the winner of that Pitch Invasion was Evan.
Evan is a fantastic filmmaker. We need to get Evan as the director.
So, Evan as one of the key writers might work.
Yeah, and Evan, I actually am going on his show next Monday. So I'll be talking to him soon.
Yes, so we also used to have a segment on this show called What the Dog Doing.
What is a dog doing?
Which was about a dog in the window of a house that I passed every day.
Yep.
Which is also an original Mead and Cheese creation. And I would ask people, was the dog still in the window? Now, we can't really do that anymore because I don't live around that area.
Yep.
But is there a way we could adapt What the Dog Doing to be a new, fresh segment on the show?
Do you have any opening ideas?
We could do it about my dog back home in Sutton and Ashfield.
Does your dog hang out in a window?
Not really.
Does your dog do anything significant?
He likes to hump things.
Is this actually going to be called What the Dog Humping?
Yes, okay. This is what we're doing now. What the Dog Doing. I am going to be asking you. What the dog doing? Again. We'll play it again. I'm going to be asking you. What the dog doing? So, Tom, what did the dog destroy in a passionate bout of lovemaking this week?
Do I get any clues?
You could ask for clues, yeah.
I'm going to go, is it a soft toy or something?
It is not a toy, but it is something soft.
Soft. Pillow.
That's close. You're in the right ballpark.
Blanket.
Also close.
What the dog doing? What could it be? So it's close to a pillow.
Let me give you some context.
Yeah.
So we were in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, the dog goes into a massive frenzy of, as I say, passionate lovemaking to this item. And the entire living room gets covered in fluff.
Okay.
From this item. So it's like you're walking through a cotton field.
Okay, so it's got to be something like a jacket then.
Maybe not. No.
So it's So is it an item, so it's a furniture item, right? Is it, am I right in thinking that?
I wouldn't really classify it as furniture.
But it's not like a soft toy.
It's not a soft toy. It's something soft. You were in the right sort of area with pillow. And blanket.
Oh, God, that's weird then, isn't it? Is it like the sofa base?
Not the sofa base. It is something, it was covered in... It was filled with wool.
Mm-hmm.
And, stuffing. This ended up going all over the living room, so you couldn't take a step without walking through. Almost looked like a winter wonderland, except not with snow, but with wool.
I don't know, Corey. I'm a bit lost because I've done pillow. I've done what's his one? I can't.
The blanket. Yeah.
I've done.
But those are close. Think more in the realm of the dog's world.
The dog bed. Did it destroy the dog bed?
It did destroy the dog bed.
Okay.
Yes. The dog destroyed his own bed.
Cool. So have you brought me a new bed yet?
No. But I did take a picture, which I will put up to the live stream, of the dog sleeping on the sofa because he destroyed his bed, which is quite funny. So let me get that up.
So, I know this is your thing, but I'm going to do a quick round of what's the dog doing.
Hold on, before we start the round, let me get the sound effect up.
What the dog doing?
So, what the dog did? What did the dog? It's dogs actually this time. Because I can't tell which one it was. What did Poppy or Ruby destroy this week?
Ooh. Okay, and can I also ask for clues?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have also destroyed multiple things, by the way, but I'm going to focus on one specific one.
Is it a furniture item?
Yeah, you're closer.
Okay. Is it something you would find in your kitchen?
In mine particularly, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Is it a chair?
No.
Is it a table?
No.
Am I close?
You've drifted further away.
Drifted further away. Is it a soft item?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it the dog bed?
Yeah.
So your dogs have also destroyed their bed.
Yeah, I think Poppy and Ruby has destroyed a dog bed. Yeah, they've been running around with like this layer of this like big bit of fabric.
So what we're getting from this is that dogs like to destroy things, specifically beds.
Their own bed. Is this going to be every week? Is it going to be what the dog doing? The dog's destroyed its own bed. Oh dear.
Every week it destroys its bed.
Because that first one was that was hard. That was hard for me.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy every week now.
Yeah, unless he destroys something different, who knows?
Well, they also destroyed their toy as well.
Oh, which toy?
Duck toy. They have a duck. They destroyed it.
Dogs are like that, I think. They just like to break things.
And it had like a, if one of you went whack when you squeezed it, but because they've ripped it open, it doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, well. Anyway, I think you had a story you wanted to tell about Harvest Gold.
Yeah, so you seem to think this is a story. Well, of course I said a story, but you was there for the story. So
right, okay.
Last week, me and Corey, after the show, went up to Morrisons.
We did, but we weren't looking for Harvest Gold.
Yes, but what we were looking for was mead, and because we rang pretty low on our reserves, so we went up to the shop to Morrisons, knowing they sell mead. And also they are the only place that sells mead, which isn't wine and whiskey in Leicester to our knowledge. So we went up there.
I think they are the only major supermarket that sells mead as well.
Yeah, I think I agree. And we thought they would have some new meads because we saw that on the website and was really excited to try these.
Yeah, and what were the new meads, Tom? They were Cornish meads,
Cornish
weren't they?
blackberry or something. And it was like, and I know, and then Ed mentioned his a few weeks ago. We went in, and we went in. I went to the place where they normally do the Harvest Gold. Wasn't there? Nothing. No meads in Leicester Morrisons anymore.
No, it was something, because we were looking around for about 20 minutes, up and down both alcohol aisles, looking for mead. Eventually, we had to ask some of the staff to help us out. None of them had ever heard of mead, which was, disappointing.
Yeah, but what was more disappointing was the fact that. And I felt sad because you can say anything you want against Harvest Gold. At least it was there, At least it was a mead in Morrisons.
My thinking is that Morrisons is phasing out their mead, because when we checked last week, it said that they sold 2 different meads. They were both Cornish flavoured meads. Now I'm looking on their website and it says they only sell 1 mead.
They're fading out their meads,
and that is the Cornish blackberry.
No,
again.
I'm not going to lie, that doesn't make me over the moon. It makes me quite sad, actually. But yeah, so please do, tweet Morrisons if you go in there locally. Ask them why no more meads. What's going on? Because we need to get it back on the road again. Because love or hate Harvest Gold, it is a mead and it is sold in supermarkets, and it should be. I mean, we'd rather have Lyme Bay there, to be honest, but if that's not going to happen, then we will take any mead.
No, it's a shame. Earlier in the year, they sold 3 different meads. That was the Harvest Gold, and it was 2 of the Cornish flavoured meads. It was the blackberry and another one, I think, maybe like red cherry or something along those lines. Now they are only selling the Cornish blackberry mead on their website. How long will it be until they are no longer selling any mead?
I don't want to. I don't want to think like that. I want to. I want to really encourage them to get selling meads again. Like what we're doing in this show is working, and let's get Morrisons. Don't take a step backwards.
No. Yeah.
Don't, take steps forwards. Getting more means into step forwards, it will make you money. It's high value. Do it. Just, get some of these other English meads. Get Lyme Bay in there. Get them all in there. They're worth having on your shop because they are amazing British drinks.
I see no reason they can't have a mead shelf.
Yeah, they should have a whole mead section. Ideally, you want a whole mead aisle, but I'm thinking small steps. Let's get a shelf of mead. Let's forget getting just one bottle in. You can take a bottle out on I don't know what it puts it on. It's like one of the miscalculous aisles. You can take a bottle out of miscalculous. Let's get it its own rack. Yes, because you can't just take a whole rack what says mead, because you need to print the label for it. And
you should be walking down the main aisle, and when you look at the aisle that says, wines, spirits, whatever, it should say wines, spirits, mead.
Mead, yeah.
And people go, I've never tried mead. I want to see what that is.
Yeah, because people will, and particularly Put it with Lord of the Rings stuff, put it with, fantasy stuff, do whatever it takes.
You raise a good point there, Tom, because I was just going to say, when we first started Mead and Cheese, we saw that there was a news article going around that was saying, Game of Thrones that had just recently finished had surged popularity in mead to a very high level. And, it was around this time that Morrisons probably started stocking more meads. And now that we don't really have anything that's promoting mead to that level anymore, apart from this show.
Yeah.
Maybe mead needs something to bring it back into the forefront of people's minds. It needs another Game of Thrones.
Well, there is House of the Dragon coming out. And Jon Snow, so maybe that will give it a resurgence. There's also a series of The Witcher coming out, But I also think you need to be asking for these things. Like, let's say you're going to go see a fantasy filming showcase. Let's say you walk into showcase, ask them, where's the mead? And one or two people will go under the radar. A couple of hundred, it won't. It won't be heard.
That's true. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's only a small niche crowd that's asking for it, it probably won't get attention.
Yeah, if it is only ever a niche crowd of people asking for mead, it will only be in niche places. We need it to be a mainstream crowd, a majority of people asking for mead, and then it will be in the majority of places.
I see no reason why somewhere like Showcase couldn't stock mead, especially for when they're showing films like The Northman or Thor. I think you'd want a bottle of mead for those sorts of films.
Here's a question, what I've been thinking about. I'm not sure about how this would... I'm not sure about the legality about this. I'm not... For the purpose of the radio, I'm not recommending we do this. I'm just putting it out there as an idea, the concept. What about if you went to one of these bars in Leicester? What if we went to a bar with a bottle of Lyme Bay or any mead be just one, and say, look, we'll give you this bottle for free, and if you promote it for 1 week and see how much you sell.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? That if you gave them one bottle, it would be gone within a day.
I know, and then you say, oh dear, look at that I think it'll be gone in an hour, and then what we do, so it's gone in an hour, and then people say, oh, we've seen you had someone have mead, why is that, where's that, can I get some? And then we'll, now again, I don't know the legality of that, then we'll ring up Lyme Bay and we'll say, or we'll meet up any mead supplier, not going to name specific ones on this occasion, and we'll ask, hey, look, we did this test run, this pub wants more your mead, send it there.
Yeah, I can really see a scenario where mead, it just needs promoting more. It needs to be in pubs. It needs the pub owners or the staff to say, oh, we've got this new thing in, it's mead, it's modern, it's hip, but it's also a classic.
Yeah, it is. It really is, and that's what we need to get going. I think I want to see more moon honey in bars as well. I would like to really see that, because I think that's one way, because imagine that walking, sometimes you want to just hold a bottle, then that's not mead, that's not that. Lyme Bay's not that. You're not going to go around a bar with a big holding a massive bottle of Lyme Bay. Sometimes you want to hold a proper bottle. That's what moon honey is.
Well, I think, if we were to sell mead in like Showcase, we could sell it by the bottle, but I think that'd be expensive. I think we'd probably sell it in, wine measurements. You could get a wine glass of mead. Yeah.
I think it's like whatever works for the, like, for particularly. I mean, I would like to see the whole collection now. I would like people to have options, but if we're being serious, it is baby steps. What we have to do is baby steps. So let's say we have one bottle of mead. It would have to be a small measurement of glass, because I feel like it's stronger than wine normally. We'd have to do that measurement. I think in bars we could probably push for some of the bottled stuff, particularly with the ciders, and then have the normal bottles of the wine, maybe push for down two different avenues that way. But again, it is taking baby steps.
Yeah, it is. But I think it would be sold more in the wine sections of bars.
Even in bars, do you think, like, because I think like I would have that moon honey mead over a cider or a beer.
Well, the moon honey's a bit different. I think that would be sold with the beers. I think a more traditional mead like Lyme Bay's would be sold with the wine. Yeah,
it definitely would be sold in the wines. But what I'm saying is, like, so I don't think mead would replace beer, like Lyme. I don't think like a Lyme Bay or a traditional mead would replace a beer. I think if someone was going to buy a beer, they went up or wanted a cider, I'm thinking about swing buyers. So normally when you go up to a bar, you're going to either get like a cider, a beer, or a wine. So we replace wine with mead, like the traditional stuff. Let's say someone doesn't want a glass of wine. Let's say they're going up to the bar and they want a beer. So what we have there is they're not getting a beer, they're getting a bottle to the bottle of moon honey, because I feel like that is more like a beer, because it's fizzy, it's nice, it's refreshing. So overall I think that's how we sort of redecorate the shelves of bars.
I just don't understand how mead dropped off. You know, you go to a pub and a lot of the times they'll have like 5 different gins. They'll have a bunch of different vodkas and different whiskies, different wines you can get, all different brands of these drinks. But no mead at all. Not even one.
It is crazy because, like, it really is crazy because it is a nice drink. And we're not people, this is not an act. We don't go into the show and say we're talking to the bars. We have been into bars to talk to them. And we ask them why they're not selling mead. And I've asked a few recently. It's like, oh, you don't mead. People, you say it to them, they look confused because they don't know what it is. And I think that's one thing, knowing what it is.
That's the problem. Most people I've spoke to, they don't know what it is, or they've not heard of it.
And then there is people who say, like one bar owner particularly said to us, we went in and asked for mead, and he said, oh, we did have a bottle of mead a few years ago, but it was the same. We got it for New Year's, and it was the same size the next New Year's. You know, I no one drank anything.
Yeah, but I think the problem with that is, you know, if there's a bottle of mead down in the cellar, not like out on display, which is what he did from what we were talking to him.
Yeah.
You know, he had this bottle of mead down in the cellar, only got it out if someone asked for mead. But I don't go into a bar and ask for mead because I am under the assumption that no bar sells mead.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I think all our audience go into bars, ask for mead. I know it might not be there, but by asking, you are essentially voting for it. Yeah, by asking, you're essentially voting for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I walked into that bar, again, I'm assuming they don't sell mead, so I'm not going to ask for mead. But if I saw mead on display,
yeah,
I would instantly be like, wow, this place sells mead, I'm going to buy some mead.
I think we need to run a bit of a campaign, and I know that you've had a few ideas, but I think, like, I noticed the other day, Pepsi, and you know, the whole Pepsi versus Cola thing, and you know, you go around and do the tests. That was in Leicester the other day, and you would go around and you would spin it round, and you would have two different, you have Pepsi and Cola, you have to guess which one's better, and which one's which. And that'd be something really engaging for the community. Could we set that up? Obviously, yeah, Coca-Cola is only age, mead is an alcohol, you can't have it if you're under 18. But like, we set up something like that in bars, or something like a campaign, what raise awareness, like, oh, what do you prefer, this mead or this wine? Or which mead do you prefer, this or this? Just something like that. I think, like, giving people a free taster. Cause, like, and then people ask, oh, what is that? And we'll say, well, that's mead.
Yeah, maybe we don't even tell them what it is before they taste it. We're like, oh, do you want to try this brand new honey drink that they've come out with? It's it's a really sweet wine. They'll try it. They'll be like, oh, this is a really sweet wine. It must be really new.
We'll tell them that it's Coca-Cola.
But, you know, it goes back to the thing, like, of people never hearing of mead or not knowing what it is. Like, my grandma, I got her into mead. She really loves the taste of mead. She likes to drink a bottle of mead.
Yeah.
But she still doesn't know what mead is.
And
she just thinks it's like a weird wine.
But she didn't, and she was probably old, so she's been around a long time, and she, you know, so it's obviously it's a modern issue. But it goes back generations. It's not a one generation issue.
No. You know, and I could call my grandma up now and say, oh, do you want a bottle of mead? And she'll say, I don't know what that is, but I'll have another bottle of that honey wine you got me.
Yeah, I think honey wine is more telling. You know, it's honey, where mead is not a known word. People often think you're saying meat.
Yeah, I've had that a lot. I went into the it used to be the Spa, the Londis.
Yeah.
I asked the guy behind the counter, like, oh, do you sell mead in here? And he was like, oh, we don't sell any meat.
Well, they don't sell meat either.
No.
It's like, no, we know you don't sell meat. Do you sell mead? We're asking for something more niche.
Yeah. Is meat niche?
I don't know. Yeah, no, it's not. But if they're not selling meat, they're not selling mead, unfortunately.
No, but again, I've had that a few times. Like when we've told people about the show before, they'll say, "Oh, meat and cheese."
Yeah, what are you doing a meat and cheese show?
I'm like, no, it's not meat and cheese. It's mead and cheese.
It's mead and cheese.
But yeah, it's one of the problems. Mead needs to come back into relevance, back to the forefront, and then we won't get all these confused looks when we ask for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're 100% right there. We need it back. Come on. Let's make a national effort. Let's bring it back. Let's get it back to where it should be.
So, we will continue our Mead Eve celebrations after more Elvis Presley in the ghetto. Welcome back to our Mead Eve celebrations, where we would like to give a shout out to Mead and Cheese fans Nick Abbott from LBC and the lawyer Daniel Durham from LBC.
Yeah. Just to make this totally what's the word? A balanced argument. He would argue that his name is Dean Durham.
Dean Dunham.
But as you might have heard on last week Friday on Twitter, that there was a bit of debate about that. I'm going to actually read them tweets because I think that would be funny.
Yeah, so to give a bit of context, we were listening to the Consumer Hour on LBC, and that was done by Dean Dunham. And a listener called in to talk to Dean about one of their consumer problems, but they called him Daniel. They said, "Oh, Daniel, I've got an issue," and Dean got quite angry and responded with, "Don't call me Daniel."
So I'm just trying to find. Oh wait, hold on Twitter. Yeah, Mead and Cheese. There you go. And the second thing on the Mead and on our search was LBC, and the first one's Mead and Cheese. So obviously these two things are very relevant. So yeah, I'm going to read through the tweets. So it all starts off where Mead and Cheese says, "Don't want to start a conspiracy." Well, it starts off with Corey just said, that someone, he said, "Don't call me Daniel," when someone calls that, and which is argue, someone calling you the wrong name, you might get a bit annoyed, but his reaction was it was
quite defensive.
Yeah. So Mead and Cheese tweeted, "Don't want to start a conspiracy here, but is Dean Durham's real name Daniel?" at LBC. And then Lord Alec Jackson then responds, "Possibly. He wasn't very happy about being called Daniel." And then Maddie here responds, "Dean could be short for Daniel, to be fair. Live, laugh, love, LBC." Mead and Cheese then says, "I used to have a friend called Dan. We used to call him Dean the Great." So obviously someone from Mead and Cheese had a friend called Dan, and they used to call him Dean, so they either might think it's interchangeable. And then why Maddie tweets, "Why would you get so mad about being called Daniel though? I would kick off if people started calling me Madeleine." I wouldn't kick off. I don't kick off when people call me Madeleine. So what Maddie is suggesting here that that Dean is short for Daniel.
Yeah.
Which is possible. Would you say that's possible?
I'd say it's possible. Like, your name's Daniel. You could shorten it to Dean as a nickname. Maybe you don't like your full name, so you try and change it.
So then Alec tweets again. Lord Alec says, "I would be a bit annoyed," but so he agrees that Dean might be annoyed about someone mixing his name. But he then says, "But I'm sure Dean Durham's name was Daniel anyway." And then he then questioned if it was the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, maybe. And then C-Caps actually comes into this. And he says, "It's true. I love Daniel Durham." And he sends a screenshot of the actual presenter's show on Global Play. And it says Daniel Durham, not Dean Durham. Again, there's always a possibility that could have been edited on a Photoshopped, you know.
I doubt it. I think sea caps are very honest people.
Yeah. What's the word? What's the word when you is it indoctrinate a photo?
Yeah, you indoctrinate a photo. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a possibility that some like Starling activity happened there. You know, changing reality, but perception of reality is reality, as VM Varga would say. But so this it's true. Love Dean Durham, and then this showing a screenshot of it saying Daniel Durham. So I just, you know, I think it's always one of them things where it's like, so there's quite a lot of plausible people thinking his name's Daniel at this point.
But if we go on to the CCAP's tweet, did it not get a response from Daniel himself?
Yeah. So lawyer Dean Durham, says. No. So, but again, he didn't give much context into the notes. Like, oh, actually, no, my name is Dean. But you know, some people do. He didn't really like. Some people up here have obviously had quite thought out explanations of what might have happened. And Hoist Lemonade also said, I also thought. He said, Hoist Lemonade said they thought there was the only one that thought this. I'm glad to find people who think Dean's name is Daniel. So obviously Hoist Lemonade is suggesting that this is not the first time something like this has happened. You know, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And and CCAT's also tweeted, I'm listening. He seemed a bit miffed off when he was called Daniel. So there's a lot of people giving quite, you know, big reasoning about why this is. But what I don't see is any explanation from LBC, you know, trying to give anything but no. It's just a flat out deny, you know. There's no sort of... There's obviously some people here are suggesting his name. It could be Daniel or Dean. They've suggested either way. But LBC are firm, hard no of it.
So I think Mead and Cheese and CCAPs and everyone involved, we were all tweeting the hashtag Danielgate.
Danielgate.
So if you want to join in this conspiracy that Dean Dunham's real name is actually Daniel Durham, get the hashtag Danielgate and tweet at LBC and at lawyer Dean Dunham if that is his real name.
Yeah. Now, there is a middle ground here. There's a bit of a compromise with it being... so Mead and Cheese, as Mead and Cheese is always unbiased, it's always like it's politically neutral. Some would even suggest, but sometimes not. Mead and Cheese actually tried to come up with a compromise in its last response, and they said the word Daniel. And I don't know,
maybe that's his real name.
Yeah, so do you think that Daniel could be a possible solution to this? I mean, where it keeps obviously there's two big groups here. People believe his name's Dean and people believe his name's Daniel. Do you think Daniel could be a possible way to compromise between both factions?
You know what I think it is? I think Daniel is possibly a war criminal from Russia, maybe. And maybe he's fled being a war criminal and tried to change his identity.
I don't think we can suggest that.
Changed his identity to Dean. So when someone called him Daniel, he thought he'd been found by the international police.
I don't think we could suggest that, but
no, we're not saying that's true. That is just hashtag Danielgate, not a conspiracy, not real. But his name could be Daniel.
Yeah, and I think it's one of them things. What maybe will come up again. People hopefully will try and work this out. Like I think we need to get Reddit on this. We need to get everyone on this. But obviously, if he wants to be called Dean. Mead and Cheese are happy taking the official stand that his name is
Daniel.
Yeah, Dean. But we want to know if any compromise could be found behind the two factions with the name Daniel.
I get it. I get it, actually. Because, if someone called mead honeyed wine,
Yeah.
I would say it's not honeyed wine, it's mead.
Yeah.
Technically, both terms are used interchangeably in a lot of contexts. People do call mead honeyed wine, or mead wine. But at the same time, I would say mead isn't a wine, it's mead.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's one of the things. I think again, it's one of them ones where it's like, don't. I think like sometimes people call me Tom, sometimes people call me Thomas. I'm not bothered about what you call me.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy works. It's fine. But moving on from Daniel Gate, I want to go on to something what happened later on the day.
Yeah, we had a call.
Yeah,
with Nick Abbott.
Nick Abbott. We went on to
Mead and Cheese Supervan.
Yeah, well, maybe not. He didn't want to seem to talk to us for that long.
Well, let's talk about what he did say. So we called in to his show. We introduced ourselves as Lord Mead and Lord Cheese.
I want to talk about mead.
From the hit radio show Mead and Cheese,
which is the most popular radio show about mead in the United Kingdom and possibly the world.
Yeah, and we said to him on air, we said, we're Lord Mead and Lord Cheese from the hit radio show Mead and Cheese, the most popular show about mead and cheese in the world. And what was his response, Tom? He said, I believe that's right.
He said, yeah, he did say he believed that right. He did, and well, he would have been right as well. Like, yeah, 100%. Like, there's nothing wrong about that, and I think that's a good thing. Surely that's progress.
Yeah, we got some recognition from Nick Abbott saying that Mead and Cheese is the most popular show about mead and cheese in the world.
And then what do we do? He didn't want to hear about how we make mead. He asked me what mead was made of, and I think at that point what he wanted to do is like, oh, do you know what it's made of? He wanted us to trip up.
I think what he was doing was he was trying to test our intelligence.
Yes, I think so, but I don't think he realised that 2 weeks before on the Friday we tweeted in asking him saying about mead and it should be sold more, and then he looked up on air what mead was and what it was made of. So. I don't think he realised. Maybe he didn't recall that, but obviously we know a lot about mead. We literally run the most popular radio show about it. If we knew nothing about mead, what would we be doing?
No, and I will say he wasn't the most accommodating host.
Yeah.
He was trying to trip us up, I think.
Right, we're one of the most guest shows on Demon FM, and what we do, we bring on guests, we have long conversations, we really get down to things, and everyone who comes out of the show said, wow, I want to come back on the show. And I think it's because our approach to guests is different to their approach to call-ins. I think our approach is we want to actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
And they say they're leading Britain's conversation. I sometimes think maybe that's a bit of a misrepresentation of what their radio show's about.
Yeah, possibly. You could go back to the Dean Dunham, Daniel Durham, whatever his name is, argument. We texted in to his show.
Yeah.
Asking him about
your situation.
Yeah, Virgin Media. They've been a bit dodgy with me recently, and we texted into his show. He said he was going to answer all of the texts that he could, and he spent most of his time talking about what he wanted to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he had a very good show, actually, but I think it's a shame that your one wasn't brought up. I do think
60p that cost me.
I do think we need to reaffirm that none of these are opinions or affiliated with Demon FM. I also think we probably maybe should read the apology. We haven't done that in a while, so let's get the apology out in case.
What are we apologising for?
I don't know. I just feel like we've been just to cover our backs.
Just to cover our backs,
yeah.
In case Evan pops up and starts swearing.
Yeah, or in case any of the other people we've spoken today don't enjoy what we said. Right. I do.
Hold on, let me get it.
Get to the page.
What page is it on?
Get to the page. It's page 11 in this one.
Oh, it's not page 11 on this one. Okay, I've got it. Page 12. Let me put you in the left ear. Let me put myself in the right ear.
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
I do sincerely apologise for any offence that was caused by my use of language, the language you heard within that song. I would like to highlight that my language / the language heard does not reflect the views, opinions or stance of Demon FM. Sorry once again, let's move on with the show. Continue the show and do not refer to the incident again.
Yeah, I think that covers us. Was that sincere, Corey? Did that sound sincere?
I don't know if it was sincere, but it was something.
But yeah, I think that's fine. Again, like we want to keep this as a balanced view. Again, nothing we talk about on this show is Demon FM's official stance or belief, and it can't be rendered. And not everything we say is fully true.
Yes, of course. But Mead and Cheese would never lie.
Yeah.
But we would not always tell the 100% truth either.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to that call, Nick Abbott ended up hanging up on us.
Yeah, so, to give more of what happened, he tried to trip us up by asking, oh, do you know what mead's made out of? So Tom responded with, it's made of honey. To which Nick Abbott went, ding, 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 that's correct.
Yeah,
but it was in a very condescending tone, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he has got good buttons. We don't do that on the show. I think buttons are a bit childish.
I mean, we've got What the Dog Doing.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. But yeah, it did feel like a condescending. Again, it's not Demon FM's view. This is our personal views. But it did feel like, like they didn't want to talk about mead.
And then, he was asking, oh, so what about mead then? And you said, oh, well, mead, it's a very good drink. We're trying to raise awareness for it. I recommend you go get a bottle. Lyme Winery is pretty good.
Yeah.
To which Nick responded with, oh, I think we're running out of time there. Played like a wow sound. Just hung up on us.
Yeah, I felt very beaten after that. I didn't feel like I had a conversation.
It felt like Nick Abbott. Again, this isn't the stance of Demon FM, but we always punch up on the show when we make fun of people like Dean Dunham. We're doing it in good fun. We're not trying to actually offend Dean Dunham by calling him Daniel Durham. And
it's never the view of Demon FM. It's our personal.
So, we always punch up. Like when we campaign for the Sundial as well, we're punching up. We're attacking Ashfield District Council. We're not attacking the little guy. Nick Abbott seems like someone who punches down to get his content.
Yeah, again, I think we have to be careful with what we say. That's not opinion of Demon FM, but I do think it's one of the, from our personal perspective, it felt like they didn't want to talk to us, and it felt like, I feel like if we were on Mead, if there was a Mead and Cheese, the conversation would have been a lot more like feel like you're having to talk to someone as a hire. We always level the playing field with Mead and Cheese. Everyone really on Mead and Cheese is a host when they walk into this room.
But Nick Abbott and even Daniel Dunham Durham, if you are listening, consider this as your invitation to come on Mead and Cheese.
Also, I want to just say one thing which is very controversial. Very controversial. I don't like the fact they keep calling Rishi Sunak Fishy Rishi.
I think that's quite funny.
But isn't that, just a bit mean?
He is a bit fishy, though, isn't he? Or is he? No, I mean, Mead and Cheese superfan Matt Hancock, he's backing Rishi. And we trust Matt Hancock and his opinions.
Yeah, we personally do. Again, the station has a neutral position on these sort of things. But me and Corey are entitled to our own personal positions.
And we've been trying to get Matt Hancock on
I would
the show
love
many times
to have more high profile guests on the show. I think they can
Yeah.
show us something from perspective.
So Matt, if you're listening, we would love to have you on the show, and you can tell us why Rishi is the best choice for leader of the Conservative Party.
And talk about. We'll talk about that, of course. But let's talk about cheese.
But yeah, Matt, we're not interested in Matt Hancock the politician. We're interested in Matt Hancock the man.
Yeah, we are, and I feel like they always say the Andrew Marr interviews are the ones either make or break a politician. I say the Mead and Cheese interviews are the ones that find out who the politician is as a person.
Yeah, that's it. We're not trying to catch anyone out with some gotchas. We're not trying to give them really hard questions that they might not be allowed to answer.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to give them a bit of fun.
We're not going to put you in that difficult position what maybe some other interviews might. We are generally wanting to listen to your opinion, and not just policy. We want to find out who you are. We want to find deep down what inspires you, what type of art, what's your favourite colour,
What's your favourite colour?
what's your dog doing.
What has your dog destroyed this week? Have you ever drank mead? Will you be pushing for mead to be sold in more places? Will you even give mead an exemption from the alcohol tax?
Yeah, I would love to see that. I would really love to. And we also, obviously, there is sometimes we have to get into political issues and talk about them. I think we want to ask you, what would you wear this T-shirt? Which you can currently see. I'm gonna zoom into it a bit.
Yeah, radio listeners can't see it.
Online listeners can. YouTube live stream listeners can. There's a T-shirt here, and it says "Save our Sundar Sutton Sandal, the greatest landmark in the world." And we want to know if you would wear that. That's probably one of the most hardest political questions.
Yeah, and of course, Matt Hancock, if you were wearing this shirt, I'm sure that your fellow Conservative MP, your right honourable friend Lee Anderson, would very much appreciate the shirt as well.
Yeah, exactly. I and again, we want to be one of them shows who stands up for the little man, and I think by wearing that shirt.
Yeah. And again, I would just like to preface again, Mead and Cheese is not political, as Tom has said. We have a very neutral position on politics. We are not conservatives in any sense, but we are interested in talking to MPs on any side of the Houses of Parliament.
Exactly. And also, just to alliterate, we're not also... Well, Corey and mine will have personal political opinions, but Mead and Cheese itself is a movement, and that is my political belief. Yeah,
Mead and Cheese as a brand itself is politically neutral.
Yeah.
And Mead and Cheese would love to have political guests, but not in a political way.
I mean, unless you're against mead as a drink, then we are very political about that.
Yeah, that's true. We've been arguing with some of the ban alcohol people on Facebook about why they shouldn't do that.
I didn't know that. I see glimpse of what you do on Facebook. I'm sure it's the same with me. I don't know if you see everything I sent out, but it's funny when you just see these things pop up.
Yeah, just Mead and Cheese commenting on hashtag ban alcohol with hashtag drink mead.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too. So I think that's all we've got time for on this Mead Eve special.
4 minutes show. I think the best way to wrap this up is just talk a bit about Mead Eve.
Yes. So what is International Mead Day, Tom?
So International Mead Day is once a year. It is. I'm not sure if it's one of them ones. I just have to find out if it's one what's always on the same date. International. I think it is actually Mead Day. So tomorrow is International Mead Day. I typed in international spell checks originally was International Meat Day if you type it in Google, so that's not great. But yeah, it's about the love of mead. I think it was started by the American Homebrewers Society, Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I think we even discussed that in the first episode of Mead and Cheese, because we had the question of, is there a mead day?
Yeah.
And I said, there isn't a mead day, but in America they have National Mead Day, which is the American Homebrewing Society. Now it's expanded into International Mead Day, which the whole world can celebrate.
Yeah, and I know a lot of... I don't know if you've been on social media, but I know Lyme Bay Meadery have been posting about it. I know Moon Honey, and I know actually a few of them are running like little competitions, so go follow their social medias. Try and get yourself some free mead. So I recommend doing that. But yeah, I think... And to celebrate this, if you join our Patreon, we're giving out free wax marks to people who live in Leicester, which isn't mead, but, you know, who cares? But yeah, Mead Eve is something we've started. We're also, although I've sort of forgot to mention this year, we're going to open up the Mead and Cheese Awards soon.
The Mead and Cheese Awards?
Yeah, so like Demon Media does at the end of the year, because we're edging towards the end of our first year of Mead and Cheese, academically at least. But yeah, we'll call this September the end of the first year. What we want to do is do an award ceremony. So we're going to have like our best meadery, our best guest, and some of these will be voted on. Some will be votes from the Grand Committee, and some will just come from me and Corey personally.
I think, yeah, if we can get as much community voting as possible, it'd be nice for the community to vote for their favourite mead. We speak a lot about our favourite mead, and as everyone knows, it is Conadelia's Fjord mead. But that's not a mead that's readily available to the public, so I'd be interested to see what the public says is their favourite mead.
Exactly, and then we'll do an award ceremony. I'm not sure quite how we're going to do that. It's likely looking like it's going to be sometime in September, maybe towards the end. But maybe we might even have a venue for it and have some private guests. But yeah, I really want to celebrate that. And it's not just a celebration of mead; it's a celebration of creativity, radio, video, everything we associated with.
And cheese.
And cheese, yeah.
Yeah, it might be, you know, we crowned the nation's favourite cheese as Red Leicester in our Great Cheese War, and that will always be the Great Cheese War winner.
Yeah.
But for the Mead and Cheese Awards, this is your chance to vote once again on what the best cheese in the world is. And, you know, we'll probably have more participants this time. There'll be more of a voting pool.
Yeah.
And maybe Red Leicester doesn't come out on top this time. Maybe it does again and cements its title as the best cheese. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't want to take away its 2021 title, but would we give it an award, or would we give it would we actually take away the title from Red Leicester if that's overturned?
Well, as I say, Red Leicester will always be known as...
This is Leicester's Student Sound.
Demon F.
Red Leicester will always be the Great Cheese War winner. We can't take that away from it. But at the same time, you know, the Mead and Cheese Award Greatest Cheese winner might be a different cheese.
Yeah, and look out for that, because we'll be posting awards. We won't post them all at once. We'll be posting them over this week and next week, so you can get voting, and then probably for the few weeks after. And we want to see, we're going to have different categories, and there'll be things like best guest. But anyway, it is 7:00.
We should go before we get locked in the building.
Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed today. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you if you've been watching our live stream. Wish you the best Saturday, and we'll see you next Friday.
We will see you next Friday. To close out the show, we have the Mead song by Brothers of Metal, followed by Yodeling in Mead O'Hill by Namco Sounds.